All right. So first of all, I want to thank you all for coming to our meeting. Would you like to introduce yourself first before we start? Yeah, Glorimar, do you want to start?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Gloria Margames. I'm Chief Program Officer of Beam Circular. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you in person, but I'm excited to still be able to participate online.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. I'm sorry I'm late, by the way. I hope I'm not that late.
Melinda?
Hi, I'm Melinda Ramirez. I'm the treasurer of Tracy Earth Project and the CEO of the Tracy Chamber of Commerce. Nice to meet all of you.
I'm Manju. I'm the president of Tracy Earth Project.
Hello, my name is Ben. I'm a board director here at Tracy Earth Project.
Reason?
Where am I? Hi, my name is Rizal. I'm with Northwest Pipe. Hi, I'm Ria, and I'm just a member of the nonprofit. Hi, I'm Hafsa, and I'm also a member of the nonprofit.
Hi, I'm Abhinav, and I'm a volunteer at the Tracy Earth Project.
Thank you.
Just trying to get in. Give him a basic
Okay.
extension.
Okay. So before we, Dan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Certainly, Dan Soltez, with our new company name, NWPX Infrastructure, formerly Northwest Pipe. So I'm happy to be with all of you today.
Thank you. So just a few things before we give it over to Northwest Pipes. Sorry, NW Infrastructure. Yes, okay. Yeah.
We're all getting used to it. So.
He has to advance. the
Oh,
slide.
yeah, sorry, I didn't know you needed to.
Yeah. So next one. So this is a collaboration with Tracy Chamber of Commerce and Tracy Earth Project. We started last year, so this is the second year of our operations, and we had a fantastic first year. So why we want you all to continue being part of this project is because as you know, sustainability is an important component right now with the ecological crisis. And so we want you to see this as a venue to showcase your commitment to sustainability, attract more eco-conscious businesses and consumers. And also you can use this as a venue to strengthen your community reputation. Also, our goal here is to, start building a Tracy Green Business Network, which for the city of Tracy. And so taking Tracy one step forward to building long-time resilience. And so next slide. Next, I did both. Okay, so this is the timeline that we have for this year. We presented the Emerald Awards from the survey last year in January at the Chamber Gala. And in March, we launched the second year of Tgbn. And we'll be doing a couple of these speaker series throughout this year. In August, we'll be launching the survey again, and you guys will have August to end of October or mid-November to take the survey. And in November and December, we'll do the data analysis part, and we'll publish the results by the end of December. Okay, so I will give it over to Dan. We have 3 people on call from NW Infrastructure. Dan Solstice, we have Rizal here, as well as Spencer Johns. Thank you for joining us. So Dan, it's all yours.
Spencer, did you have something you wanted to start with?
Yes. So I'll give you guys just a brief history of our company. NWPX Infrastructure was founded in 1966. We're a leading manufacturer of water-related infrastructure products. Our company is the largest manufacturer of engineered water transmission systems in North America. We produce steel casing pipe, bar-wrapped concrete cylinder pipe, and pipeline system joints and fittings through our engineered steel pressure pipe segment. The company provides solution-based products for a wide range of markets, including high-quality reinforced precast concrete products, lined precast sanitary sewer system components, water distribution and management equipment, including pumps and lift stations, wastewater treatments, and stormwater quality products through its precast infrastructure and engineered system segments. We are strategically positioned to meet growing water and wastewater infrastructure needs, and the company's skilled team is committed to quality and innovation while upholding its core values of accountability, commitment, and teamwork. We are headquartered in Vancouver, Washington, and NWPX Infrastructure operates 13 manufacturing facilities across North America. And with that, I'll let Dan take it away.
Okay, thanks, Spencer. And thanks, everybody. It's a pleasure to join you today, albeit virtually. So thanks to the Tracy Green Business Network for inviting me to speak. So, as I said before, I'm Dan. I'm based here in Portland, Oregon. I'm Corporate Social Responsibility Manager with NWPX Infrastructure. We're all getting used to the new name, and I just realized that I'll probably need a new shirt too, because I'm still sporting the old logo. But as Spencer mentioned, this has been our company name and identity for the last, going on almost 60 years. So, that we're in the midst of the name change, and while that might seem like a small shift, it actually reflects a broader transformation in how we think about infrastructure and the partnerships we pursue and where our company is headed. So today I'll walk you through how we're embedding sustainability into the future and what it looks like in real life. So we're still early in our sustainability journey, beginning in earnest in 2023, but we're moving with intention, and I'm excited to share where we are, what we've learned, and what's next for our business. So we are a manufacturer in motion. Oh,
Sorry.
there we go. That's okay. Our industry isn't known for moving fast when it comes to sustainability, but that doesn't mean that we're standing still. So over the past year plus, we've done the work to understand our current state, our baseline for energy use, water consumption, and greenhouse gas emissions. So that foundation lets us move forward in a way that's meaningful. So we're being intentional. We're not chasing trends or reacting to pressure, but building a strategy that fits who we are. So a lot of it's rooted in lean manufacturing. So around reducing waste, improving flow, and using resources wisely. That's long guided how we work. And now we're applying those same principles to sustainability. So one example I'd like to highlight is here in Portland, at our Portland facility, as we partnered with the Energy Trust of Oregon to conduct a comprehensive energy audit that led to several facility-wide upgrades, including programmable thermostats, compressed air storage systems, lighting controls, and more efficient heating and cooling. So some of these practical changes were locally implemented and backed by data and best practices, but that shows how targeted action can drive both environmental and operational gains. And that's what we mean when we talk about culture shift. Next slide, please. Thank you. So why it matters, here's why the work can't wait. So in the Western US, we're seeing 78 more wildfire days annually than we did in the 1970s. So urban water systems lose up to 15% of their water through leaks. So that's over 2 trillion gallons of treated water that's lost each year across the US. Extreme heat, kind of like the 115-degree day we experienced in Portland here a few summers ago, is becoming more common, even in regions that are not built for it. And so some of you may have seen the latest weather forecasts predicting another heat dome event, this time affecting the eastern US and putting more than 15 million people at risk. So needless to say, California has faced its share of climate challenges, from wildfires and droughts to atmospheric rivers, all of which underscore the need for resilient systems. That's why climate resilient infrastructure is more than an investment, but it's a safeguard against disruption. And the systems we build, pipes, treatment facilities, reservoirs, etc., they're not just infrastructure, they're lifelines. And that's why sustainable infrastructure isn't a trend, it's a necessity. Next slide, please. So we recently published our first sustainability report. It's available on our website. which provides a clear baseline showing what's working and where we need to focus to meet future sustainability goals. So some key highlights that are there on the screen. So we've saved approximately 1.5 million kilowatt hours electricity through lighting retrofits, namely LED lighting upgrades at our plants, recycled 11 million pounds of scrap material, tracked 155 million gallons of water use, and for the first time reported our scope 1 and 2 emissions. So while these numbers establish our starting point, the real progress is cultural. We're beginning to talk about resource efficiency at every level, from plant operations and team huddles to leadership meetings. And the data is new, but the mindset shift is already taking hold. And so one of the strengths we're building on, as I mentioned a moment ago, is our lean manufacturing mindset, which is not new to us, but we're now applying it more intentionally to environmental challenges through reducing scrap, minimizing energy waste, and empowering employees to improve processes from the ground up. Next slide, please. So one major step forward was publishing our first environmental product declaration, or EPD. So you can think of it like a nutrition label, but for environmental impact. This pilot was based on a cradle-to-gate life cycle assessment of our cement mortar-lined welded steel pipes, which are essential components in water, stormwater, and wastewater infrastructure. So completing the EPD took close coordination across many departments through engineering, operations, etc. So it wasn't just about collecting data, it was about working together across the company. And it matters as today, about 1/3 of our open projects are in states with buy clean programs, which increasingly require this type of product level environmental data. So one important note is we didn't wait to be forced to produce an EPD from a compliance standpoint. We got out ahead of it, and we're continuing to track emerging policies, especially in California, to ensure our products stay aligned with regulatory expectations. So next, I wanted to look at what sustainability means in practice, not just in plans or reports, but in the infrastructure we help build and the communities it supports. So I highlighted 4 projects here that are all based in California, where environmental leadership, climate risk, and infrastructure demand often intersect. So starting with Pure Water San Diego, we'll deliver 83 million gallons of purified recycled water daily, expected to supply nearly half the city's drinking water a decade from now. Led by the City of San Diego's Public Utilities Department, this project also includes partnerships with construction and engineering firms. So our company's role supports the core conveyance infrastructure, supplying over 21 miles of engineered steel pipe. That's what we consider resilience in action. And it's more than engineering, it's about creating a drought-resistant future for one of the most water-stressed regions in the country. Next slide. In Santa Clara, 1.8 billion gallons of recycled water per year are helping replace imported water and recharge groundwater. This initiative is managed by the Santa Clara Valley Water Districts in partnership with local municipalities and regional wastewater agencies. It's a multi-stakeholder effort to reduce reliance on imported water and strengthen local supply resilience. So this water supports ecosystems, agriculture, and long-term water security. It's a model for what regional self-reliance should look like. The Fallbrook pipeline upgrade is using trenchless construction to reduce disruption. This project is delivered by the Rainbow Municipal Water District with support from engineering consultants and contractors specializing in trenchless technologies. But it demonstrates how local utilities are embracing smarter, less disruptive upgrade methods. So that means fewer emissions, less impact to local habitats and biodiversity concerns, and minimal inconvenience for the local community. So smart design choices like this show how sustainability and efficiency can really go hand in hand. And finally, to the Central Coast, San Luis Obispo, we built a pipeline to withstand earthquakes and climate stress. So the city of San Luis Obispo led this project, working with civil engineers and resilience planners to ensure the pipeline meets California's seismic design standards. Our infrastructure contribution helps protect water service continuity in the event of an earthquake. So this seismic resilient infrastructure ensures continuity of service during disasters and helps future-proof critical systems against increasingly volatile conditions. So switching gears a little bit to our community impact program, something that we're very proud of, but also as a reminder that sustainability isn't just about materials, it's also about people, it's about communities where we live. And so we launched the community impact program late 2024. So each of our facilities have a budget to support local environmental and civic initiatives. So these projects are chosen and led by employees focusing on the needs of their communities in the areas of education, youth sports, habitat restoration, and resources for families facing economic hardship, just to name a few. So one example, our team, oh, not yet. Our team, that's okay. Our team in Parkersburg, it's only because I wanted to point out the picture of the kiddos. So, but our team in Parkersburg, West Virginia, partnered with local schools through their Partners in Education initiative to provide mentorship, school supplies, and volunteer time. So that's the picture of the students, the kiddos there at the top left. And so, but locally, or local to Tracy, I'd like to invite Russell to talk a little bit about the recent Earth Day project in Tracy and our plant's involvement with that. So, Russell, I'll hand it off to you.
Hi, everyone. So I just want to let everybody knows that our Community Impact Program was officially introduced first quarter of this year with focus on environment, school, and community resilience. So our community engagement initiatives have been ongoing, including our annual December tradition of donating used clothes and granting the wish list of the Children's Home of Stockton. Recently, we joined with Tracy Earth Project for the Earth Day cleanup with a numerous of my colleagues and with their families who participated. And we also sponsored one of the winning schools during the Earth Day challenge. So our goal is to select a program that integrates or combines with financial donations with tangible efforts, which is vital for authentic community engagement. So through this program, we provide support to nonprofit organizations, empowering and supporting the community, our community actually. And we have some projects that's in lineup right now, and hopefully right now I'm still working with Stockton Unified District for First Day project, and another one is for the school band that I'm working on, so we can also participate on that one. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And just a shout out to the whole Tracy, to Russell and the whole Tracy team for really, when we launched this community impact program 4 or 5 months ago, Tracy was raring to go and led by Russell in her efforts. And so, but really exemplifies kind of what we're trying to do and the impact we're trying to have in the communities where we operate. So thank you all for that and your dedication to this work. So.
And thank you for your guys' contributions and help. It was a really fun day.
Thank you.
It was a great turnout.
Right. So a few more remarks from me is looking ahead, kind of what we're working on next is, rolling out new environmentally responsible practices at the plant level, ranging from LED retrofits and equipment upgrades to expanded scrap recycling, and focus on our waste management practices as well as our, responsible use of natural resources like water. So along those lines, we're launching water reuse pilot projects and using plant level scorecards to track energy emissions and water use. But our goal isn't just better metrics, it's consistent, transparent, embedded progress across all of our operations. And final slide, please. So to close, just a few reflections. First, you don't have to be far along to make an impact. Second, we start with what you already do, what we already do well. And for us, that's lean manufacturing and a culture of problem solving. And third, finding an appropriate entry point, whether that's people, processes, or products. That's been our approach. We're learning in real time. We're building in this area, and we're excited about what's ahead. So I appreciate again the invitation to speak to you all today, and welcome any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I had one. Let me pull that up real quick. So you talked a couple minutes ago about the EPD environmental nutrition label.
Mhm.
I would love to know, like, because my understanding is that like you guys do steel pipes and concrete pipes, among it sounds like some new things because of the name change. When it comes to the concrete pipes, how is the availability of low carbon cement right now?
Mhm.
And how do you see efforts like this to provide nutrition labels? How do you see that impacting that in the future?
Yeah, good question. So I should point out too that this first EPD we did, I think was just on our on the steel side, so on the steel pressure pipe side. So I think mainly and focused in California, really the West Coast, because 85% of our products kind of within that segment of our company are within that product family. So we've started to look into what, on the precast side, what developing an EPD would look like. So in partnership with, we partner with the American Concrete Professional Concrete Association, APCA. I always get the acronym a little bit mixed up. Who received a federal grant last year to develop EPDs in that area. So we're working with them. I say without getting too far into it, it's a little bit murky in terms of just how the federal grant will be, the federal funds will be accessed and used for this work. So we're in a little bit of a holding pattern there, but it is part of our longer term strategy is we are looking for, opportunities to use reduced carbon, materials with reduced carbon content in our projects. So that's, when we look at the next phase of developing EPDs, that's something that we're going to be focusing on is more on the precast concrete side.
And if I may, fun fact, all of our steel pressure pipe actually takes a cement mortar lining. It's what helps it keep from deteriorating with the water flowing through it. And I think only 2 plants in the US now are left that aren't using low carbon cement. So we've changed over to it. Saginaw's already changed over to it. They're the highest volume producer. So we're not doing it yet on the precast side, but we're ahead of the game on the steel pressure pipe side because we do use cement in all of our operations as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that detail.
Absolutely.
I had a follow-up question for you two on this one. So I know Heirloom Carbon, who has a plant here in Tracy to extract CO2 from the air. One of the things they're doing with it right now is injecting that carbon into the cement. This might be I don't know enough of the details about it, and this might be too early compared to where you guys are in the process of developing these EPD labels. But how would you see something like that impacting what you would put on that label? And yeah.
I don't know enough about the labels themselves to be able to give you an intelligent answer. Just thinking logistically, that would be more of I'm sure it's injected into what we would call a wet cast concrete operation or molded. That's more what they do on the traditional precast side of the business. Ours is more of it's a unique system of applying it because our pipe is spun and then the concrete is basically just injected and then it's centrifugally pushed out to the outside. So it'd be very hard to introduce some kind of injection system in that. But the traditional precast would be where you would see that kind of capability being harnessed, I believe.
Yeah, and I will say we have explored that a bit. So we've talked to a few companies who are interested in working with us on the precast side for that injected carbon just into the mix. And so we're pretty early into that process, but a couple companies who we met with early, just the last few months, there was some concerns around quality and and disruptions to our manufacturing process that where essentially those would be kind of non-starters for using those types of solutions. So, but that is something that's again a high priority for us. And then how that would then translate, or we would reflect that in EPD labels, would be kind of again the next phase of our EPD work. So
I gotta say, when I heard that they ship the carbon that they capture from the air here and they ship it somewhere else, it just seems okay. Well, how much carbon are they putting in the atmosphere while they're shipping all this carbon somewhere else? It'd be great to see things that are produced locally stay local, right, in the production circles. It's just funny to me to hear those things.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for those answers. That was wonderful to hear.
Thank you for the questions.
Any other questions?
Nothing.
I bet you can come up with one between the three.
I had a question about the Hi, it's Melinda again. I had a question about the earthquake. What did you call it? Like seismic resistant, I believe, pipes. I just was curious how that looks. Is that where you were talking about the steel lining, or is that for a different purpose? I'm just curious how they make concrete pipes that can withstand an earthquake. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, it's part of our San Luis Obispo project. And so, Spencer, I'll defer to you if you have any thoughts more on the engineering front.
Yeah, so we have I think it was steel pressure pipe, actually concrete line, but I believe it used we have a patented joint that's produced out of St. Louis, Missouri, that's called InfraShield, and it's a seismic resistant joint. And it basically the way the pipe goes together, it allows like 13 to 15% of deflection in every joint without coming apart or causing any breakage that would allow whatever the pipe's carrying to be released.
Thank you. I was also curious when we're talking about trenchless. I don't know anything about trenches or how they are related to the environment. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the advantage of trenchless is really less to do with true environmental impact and more to do with disruption of typical businesses. So as you know, we live in a country with very old infrastructure, not as old as say Europe, but old nonetheless. So you've got infrastructure that gets laid down and then buildings built on top of them. And then when that infrastructure wears out, you have to have a means to replace it. So now taking the building down and cutting a hole in the ground doesn't become a very viable option anymore. So they developed this technology that's called trenchless, and it basically consists of a large steel head. They would run a large cable down the existing pipe, and they would hook up to this steel head that's shaped like a wedge. That would hook onto the pipe that's going to go inside, and then they would basically pull the new pipe through the old pipe. And as the new pipe comes in, it bursts the old pipe, and now you've got a new pipeline inside the old pipe effectively.
Wow, sort of like an IV on the ground.
Kinda, yep.
That's pretty cool. Thank you.
Quick follow-up on that. Just out of curiosity, so it can replace a pipeline. I'm imagining of the same size. What do you do if you need to expand the pipeline, but you can't dig a trench?
You can do the same thing. They call it boring in that case. So instead of bursting, it's called boring. So they basically have a smaller pipe head that they will send through a tunnel. Basically, it's got like an auger on the front of it. It's a much smaller version of kind of what Elon's doing in Vegas with the underground. It's really that. I mean, that's basically what's happening. It's a tunnel making machine in a very small scale for us.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And just one quick note, just on the question about our San Luis, so the seismic ready pipeline. So we had, and Spencer, I don't know if you saw it, but a few months back, some of our engineers, they presented some of their testing where they simulated different sized earthquakes and seismic events. They kind of showed, they conducted quite a few experiments to show the resilience and just kind of the bendability of the pipes, and so and how they would withstand a major earthquake. And so if that video is publicly available, I'd be happy to share that link, but it's really cool to watch. So
I'd like to see that. I didn't see that, but I would love to check it out.
Yeah.
I think that's really neat. And these are the pipe, are you talking about main like water delivery systems into like cities, or are these just more off to specific businesses, or what kind of?
No, we deal with very little of the small stuff that would actually feed a business. We're primarily large water delivery systems that would go from either dams to water treatment plants, and then water treatment plants to municipalities. Smaller contractors and typically PVC pipe handle the feeder pieces that come off and would feed subdivisions and individual houses.
So that really is really important for, yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, keeping water during a disaster. That's awesome.
Exactly. Yep.
I wanted to follow up with a question on recycled water. What are some of the are there limitations on what you can do with it? Like, are there certain things it's not a good use for, either because of standards or some other thing I'm not thinking about? Or is it just like once it's recycled, it's like good as new?
Well, I couldn't speak to that. You'd want to talk to a water chemist in that regard. I mean, if I've got a choice, I'm not going to drink the stuff. But that's probably more personal opinion than true. I mean, I assume that there are standards that it has to be treated to that would, get it close to potable. I've heard of gray water being used for irrigation and all kinds of manner of, landscaping, beautification, all that, to great success. So,
So the reduction in the amount of water that you had talked about, in what situations would you be using water, and where would you reduce that usage?
I think Dan's gonna have to. It's probably through mixed design and stuff in the precast industry for steel pressure pipe. I'll be honest, our processes don't use a ton of water. It gets mixed in the concrete, but most of it gets used up in that process. So there's not a lot of opportunity. Precast has an opportunity to use a lot more because they wash their aggregates, and there's all kinds of things going on. But
and I should point out too, I think that when I said 155 million gallons of water, I mean that was a kind of a baseline year measurement. So we have not. So we're starting to put the kind of tools or the metrics in place to start tracking year-over-year water consumption. So at this point, I mean, like I said, we're pretty early on in our data collection and kind of what we're reporting out in terms of consumption. But we are kind of like Spencer was saying, seeing opportunities to reduce water usage more on the precast side.
Well, I commend your efforts. It's awesome, and I really did like how you use employee input as far as how suggestions about how you can save water, save electricity coming down from the people that are actually on the ground using it. I think that's something a lot of larger organizations ignore. So it's
a really healthy sign. So congrats to you guys on that.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter where the idea comes from, and also deferring to the experts and the people who do the work every day. It's just I want to hear from them in terms of kind of where the real improvement opportunities are. So, thank you for saying that.
I had a question about decarbonization when it comes to the energy that you guys use in manufacturing, because I assume that steel and concrete are pretty intense things that are hard to decarbonize at this point. Where are you all on your journey with that?
Not very far, to be honest. So I think that's part of, again, the baselining, and I think that's where we're looking at those opportunities, or to start to look at a kind of mixed energy use portfolio, start to look at decarbonization opportunities, also looking at how we start to use more renewables, things like that. But we're a little bit ways off from that. So
Thank you.
Yeah, just as a sidebar, concrete traditionally is a pretty green product. It really is. I mean, aside from its abundant water use, you typically get aggregates that aren't trucked very far because they're so heavy. You get cement that's sometimes imported, but really the biggest savings environmentally now with concrete is that low carbon cement that's being introduced and utilized, and it's as good as the other stuff, if not even a little bit better. So concrete, and now with the injection of the carbon you know, as you said before, like those are the things where you're really going to gain. It's a pretty simple product, right? It's rock, sand, and cement and some water. So there's not a lot of opportunity to like refine that down to a lower carbon footprint unless you can reduce the amount of trucking that it takes to get those raw materials to the place of manufacture. But you know, steel's a whole nother animal, right? It's mined and then heated up really, really hot and then formed, and it's a whole different beast. But yeah, that's going to be a long road, I fear.
Well, like you guys say, it's progress over perfection, and you don't need to be far
100%.
along to make an impact. So we look forward to seeing what y'all do in this space.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for your presentation too.
My pleasure. Yeah. Thank you again for the invitation. So.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting us here in Tracy. We love
Yeah.
that.
Hey, we're here in Tracy too, right? We always want to be good neighbors, good community partners, and Rossell has done a tremendous job. Her heart is for community, and she's a relentless kind of supporter of all things giving. So, you know, she's
we are very grateful for her.
yeah, she's amazing, and certainly a huge part of the Tracy and Northwest Pipe or NWPX, sorry, team.
I gotta ask, what is the acronym?
That's
It's just
our stock ticker symbol.
Yeah,
the NASDAQ. Yeah.
It's our NASDAQ ticker symbol. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the NASDAQ. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, fancy NASDAQ.
So thank you guys for joining us, and especially thank you for being a big supporter for Tracy Earth Project this year. Thank you so much, Riesel, and also for bringing refreshments for today.
Yes.
Yeah, thank
Pizza is
you.
fantastic.
We know how to party in Tracy,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. So,
I got my own. So,
yeah.
All right, so
I'm missing it because I'm in Stanislaus County, people.
thank you, Gloria. So for next speaker will be Grid Alternatives. We'll probably do that in August, and we'll send out the dates about when we plan it. Currently, we don't have a date, and we'll probably be launching our survey also along with it. And also, we do have an upcoming event, which will be on the 30th. So one of the things that we realized with the last year's survey is our businesses here are not very compliant with SB 1383. And so we are bringing experts from City of Tracy and Delta Disposal to tackle how to build more infrastructure, or how to be more compliant with this bill. So please join us on Monday, June 30th from 5 to 7 at Tracy City Hall, Council Chambers. And with that said, I think we can wrap up for today. Anybody do you have any comments or anything you would like to share?
No, just thank you for organizing this. It's been a pleasure, and hope everybody got something out of it. And we look to seeing you in the future.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks.